Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are doing well, safe and healthy. Welcome to our 31st Annual General Meeting. AGM is a great opportunity for all our members to be updated on the status of the chambers and the Canadian business community in Thailand, as well as to elect the new board of directors who will lead CanCham Thailand on your behalf over the next 12 months. These are topics that we will cover in our AGM. During the AGM, there will be a few items that we will ask our participants for a motion to approve. If you agree, please click on the reactions button, which at your bottom right, and select raise your hands. Our staff, Kun Palm and Kun Bell, will make a note. Without further ado, I would like to welcome Mr. Derek Van Pelt, our president, to provide president's reports. Please welcome Derek.
Hello, thank you very much. Thanks, Jen. I appreciate it. Please hold your applause. Thank you very much for being here. Today's agenda, obviously, the CanCham is obligated to hold an annual general meeting on an annual basis under the rules and regulations of the Ministry of Commerce, which our chamber is organized under. We would like to obviously gather everyone together and have a conditions that it's not possible this year. So this one, we're going to make a little bit more of a checkbox, a little bit more of a formality, I guess, as much as anything. And we'll look forward to getting together at our next possible convenience. As such, we'll try to move through things as quickly as possible for everyone's comfort and convenience. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, cries of anguish, or otherwise, please don't hesitate to raise them in the other business portion of this agenda today. So with that, we'll begin with we'll request the approval of the minutes for the 30th AGM. That's the minutes of last year's AGM. And those have been circulated already, I believe, to members of the chamber. If I could have someone to approve the minutes and someone else to second, please. I see Caroline Kwan and Ron Livingston have both put up their hands. Mr. Coates, thank you very much. But I believe that that's two. So if you could capture that, please, Palm.
Yes, it was captured.
Okay, so next slide, I guess. There we go. Congratulations. Thank you. Please. Okay, I just got a notice saying the internet connection was unstable, so I hope that you can hear me. The president's report. So next slide. So obviously the CanCham Thailand, none of you are new to CanCham. Most of you aren't, rather. Some of you are newer than others. We're one of the largest Canadian chambers of commerce outside of Canada, and certainly one of the most active chambers of commerce in Thailand. Certainly we operate with a level of heart and spirit, I think, that belies our medium size. We support our members by fostering Canadian, Thai, and international business relationships through our events, through our network, through the platform of information sharing through the office, business matching policies and synergies between our members. Most of those are typically facilitated, of course, via our in-person events, which we hope to pick up with as soon as possible. CanCham Thailand at a glance. As many of you know, this is our 31st annual general meeting. The CanCham itself was founded in 1991 by a group of Canadian businesses, but it was actually a follow-on from an earlier business collaboration, a business club, if you will, that was formulated a few years earlier by a small group of Canadian business people. It's a membership organization under the Ministry of Commerce. We're organized as a legal entity, and we are self-funded. So we appreciate and thank all of your support through the year to enable us to do what we can. 80% of our members are SMEs, as you can see in the last icon there, which means we do have a very active and engaged community. And at the same time, you can get to know people very well with the if you come out and participate in the events. Next. Okay, some of the things that we'll discuss, just give you an overview of the last year. Next slide, please. The membership in 2020 was down a little bit from 2018 and 2019. As I recall, during my time as a member of the CanCham, I think that we've been up as high as 160, 170, nearly 200 members. So we are down from the peak, and we certainly would like to engage more people as time goes on into joining our fold. By categories, you can see the vast majority of our members are corporate. We also have young professionals, several, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and a healthy chunk of individual members as well. The affiliate membership is mostly for organizations that are not based in Thailand, but would still like to participate in the CanCham. Thank you. Okay, just take a second here, and I want just pause for half a second here, Bill. I want everyone just to take a moment. This is a bit of a, it's just a list of names, but take a look and really identify, to have a look through these names as we go through the next 4 or 5 slides and see how and when you can support these organizations. It might not be every day that you need to find a mover or visit the hospital, but if you do need one of those things, reach out to the chamber and find out if there's someone in the chamber. Reach out to the chamber office and find out if there's a member of the chamber that provides what you need, so that we can support each other through what we're doing. And Belle, as you will, just please scroll through those slowly through the next few slides. These are the new members, the people who have joined us since the last fiscal year. Thank you very much to our new members and welcome. Okay, and going on to report on our annual partnerships. As you can see, we are substantially down on the number of annual partnerships. We had 16 in 2018, 17, and then now we're down to less than half of that at 7. The chart at the bottom is the revenue generated by annual partnerships. The scale of this chart makes it look like it's a small dip, but if you look at the numbers, it's actually a substantial decrease in revenue that's coming to the bottom line due to our lack of annual partnerships. The treasurer will give us a short presentation here shortly about the financial situation of the chamber, but it certainly at these levels is more and more of a challenge to continue with our mission. So we would certainly, again, encourage you to continue your membership, continue to refer your friends, renew your memberships, and see if there's any way that an annual partnership makes sense for either yourselves or someone that you do business with. But again, you can reach out to the chamber office for more information on partnerships and what those may do for you. Next slide. We'd like to thank our past platinum partners. We had the International School of Bangkok, Levco Holdings, and My Internship Asia. Thank you very much, David Levy. Gold partners for 2020 were Allied Movers, Magna International, MBMG Group, and our friends at Privileges Smart Card. Thank you very much. Very, very important, crucial relationship that we have with the embassy, and we're very thankful to have Her Excellency Dr. Sarah Taylor here as our ambassador at the moment. She's tremendously supportive of the Canadian business community, obviously tremendously supportive of Canadian interests in Thailand, and a huge advocate and supporter of the chamber. Sanjeev Chowdhury, enough can't be said about his efforts and his dedication to supporting Canadian business, both here and abroad. We thank both Dr. Sarah Taylor and Sanjeev Chowdhury for their undying support of CanCham. They really do go above and beyond to make sure that Canadian interests in the region are taken care of. Thank you. So some of the initiatives that we have been a part of over the past year include the We Can initiative. Now, the We Can is an initiative that was introduced by Joni Simpson. It was a brainchild of Joni Simpson, and it's designed to promote specifically women's entrepreneurship. So we've worked with a group of women to develop a space for peer-to-peer learning and support. And so far the program is going very, very well. In the coming year, CanCham is going to take a bit of a step back, and someone from the last cohort will be taking up some of the slack, but we're still very keen on supporting the We Can initiative and women entrepreneurs in Thailand. CanCham South, we have Mr. Robert Keefe, who many of you know, a longtime Thailand resident who's based in Phuket. Robert has very generously offered to spearhead a chapter of CanCham South. It will be not a legal entity as it is under CanCham, but he'll be rallying the troops in Phuket and the south of Thailand in order to further our interests in the region and try to gather some of the people down there together under our banner. There is a reasonable Canadian contingent in the south. We see more and more business moving to Phuket and the region. So Robert's going to be a key liaison there for the Canadian business community in the south. Thank you, Robert Keefe. The events, obviously a cornerstone of what we do here at CanCham. The events are what brings it all together. Without the events, without the relationships, without the opportunity for serendipity to occur, the CanCham wouldn't be nearly what it is. In the last year, we ran 55 events. 23 of those were run by ourselves, spearheaded by the team at the CanCham office, and 32 events were co-branded, basically run by other chambers or other organizations with support from our office. We had about 2,300 attendees at our events last year. And as you can see in the bottom left corner of this slide, certainly a caliber of business people that I think allow opportunity and, as I said, serendipity to occur when you come to these events. So I would certainly encourage everyone to participate when the time allows, to come back out to these events and really participate. You certainly do get out of it what you put into it. Thank you very much. Next slide. Okay, so we have a series of cornerstone events or keystone events, I guess, for the CanCham throughout the year. Last year, we were fortunate to be able to have the Crystal Ball. It's our look ahead event, the first event of the year. It was tremendously well attended, tremendously well received. We were able to do that in January. It's the first event of the kind of the foreign business community calendar. Women in leadership, we were able to get just in under the wire before the COVID restrictions came into place. Again, very fortunate to be able to have been able to hold that event. Very well attended and inspiring event, kind of showcasing inspirational women leaders and trying to give the opportunity to a younger generation of female leaders to have something to aspire to specifically and some mentorship. Next slide. Connect Connections. We held 5 Connect Connections events through the year. Connect Connections are generally a little bit more informal. Typically, we try to have more than 5, but the COVID situation again made it a little less comfortable to do. These are basically mingling network events that we run through the year. Generally, we try to have a theme or a speech or an objective around these events, but they certainly are fun when we're able to have them. We were not able to have Canada Day at the appointed time. Normally we run Canada Day at the very end of June. Again, due to COVID, we were not able to have it at that time. But once the restrictions were lifted, we moved very quickly into gear in order to have a Canada Day. And I think it's fair to say it was one of the best that we've had in recent years. It was very well attended, very well appreciated. And I think everyone especially relished the opportunity to get out and to get some fresh air after being cooped up for some time. The Maple Leaf Ball, also a tremendous event. Maple Leaf Ball is our kind of our Thanksgiving ball, Canadian Thanksgiving, as it were. We had a theme of disco night, very, very well attended. We were very fortunate in this country to celebrate the feast of Thanksgiving with thankful hearts, as again, we were able to do it in a relatively COVID-free environment. Many other countries of the world were at that time in very severe lockdowns, and the crisis wasn't abating, but we were very fortunate to be able to pull it off here. We did that. The Christmas barbecue was the last event of last year, and it was actually at the Christmas barbecue right at the end of the year that we learned that there was another outbreak in Samut Sakhon, or further outbreak of COVID in Samut Sakhon. So it put a little bit of a damper on that event. However, it was very, very well attended. I think probably our best attended Christmas again for many, many years. Largely, I believe, because many people that otherwise may have left town for the New Year's season elected to stay here. And it was a fantastic event, very, very well run by the office. So thank you for that Christmas barbecue. Other events, I have a list in front of me. We have 32 other events, just to pick some kind of at random. We had the Catch of Canada event, which was very well supported by the embassy. We had an inspirational leadership event. We had a Thailand Eastern Economic Corridor event. Several multi-chambers networking evenings. What else do we have here? Phuket SmartLink Business Forum. An event about the CPTPP, how does it impact your business, and on and on. Like I said, 32 other events that we either participated in or supported or ran ourselves throughout the year. Very active, very engaged community. Again, as you can see in many of these photos, a lot of tremendous support from the embassy. So we thank you for that. The CanCham Executive Board. So the leadership of your CanCham over the past year, was elected to be president by the board in after the AGM last year, supported by David Beckstev and Deed Outerson as vice presidents, Dan McKay as treasurer, and Sunny Patel as secretary. The remainder of the board, Robert Candolino, John Casella, Art Chanavan, Michael Curry, Amelie Desjardins, Ron Livingston, Nadasak Rojana Pichet, and John Stevens. Please, I know it's again not appropriate to give a round of applause for these people at this stage, but all of these people sincerely worked very hard and put a tremendous amount of effort and energy into making sure that the CanCham was able to be a viable organization over the past year, and really worked to serve you, the membership community. So my hat is off to every single one of the board members, and I thank you so much for your dedication over the past year. In terms of advisors, again, for several reasons, people that might otherwise be able to participate on the board cannot, because of other commitments or the structure of the Chamber of Commerce. Under the Ministry of Commerce regulations, a member of the board of the Chamber of Commerce must have a work permit. So sometimes that's not possible. For example, if people are working for an NGO, if they're working for the government, perhaps they're a trailing spouse, it's simply not possible. But Sanjeev Chowdhury and Gabriella Famligan at the Embassy of Canada, tremendous support, and very much appreciated. No less dedication and energy and effort from Yvonne Chin, Carolyn Kwan, Daniel Lin, Lynn Taston, and Francis Zimmerman. Yvonne Chin, I would specifically like to highlight as leaving this year after many years, being involved with first the Canadian Embassy and then the CCC. Absolutely fantastic, and a pillar of the women in leadership community. Caroline Kwan and Lynn Tasson, also tremendous supporters of the Chamber, in particular women in leadership, along with many other events. So we thank you very much. I believe Caroline may be departing this year as well, but I'm not sure if that's confirmed yet. But certainly Yvonne plans to leave, so we thank you. Daniel and Francis, again, thank you as well. So I can't say enough about the team in the office. I was elected to be the president. I think of it as service as a president. My objective, I guess, in the role is to support as much as I can. But the real heavy lifting and the real work, again, I have to take off my hat, and I think we should all celebrate and thank the team at the office. We have Jen, Ben, Palm, and Bell, who really, I don't know what I would do, and I don't know what we would do without this team. It's a solid core of dedicated individuals. Certainly have room for development and improvement, as do we all, but very thankful to have them in the roles that they're in. And again, if you have the opportunity to thank them for their service, please do so. And with that, I'll pass it to Mr. Dan McKay, our treasurer, for the treasurer's report.
Thank you, Derek. We'll make it short and brief today. So let's start with the next slide. I think some of the figures that Derek showed earlier are trend in membership going up in 2019, and of course coming down in 2020 with COVID. In general, 2019 was a year of great momentum for the Chamber. We were kind of in a bit of a downward drift over a couple of years, and then 2019 we really picked it up, added a lot of new members. We added some really innovative partnerships for companies here, and in 2020 we kind of got the wind knocked out of our sails. Now, having said that, we've managed very well to conserve our cash, and you'll see at the end of the year that first line, current assets, they're up $1.5 million, bought That's mainly due to prepayment of 2021 memberships and partner plans. But you'll see a little asterisk at the bottom there. Our cash balance at the end of December was close to 1 million baht, which gives us a little bit of comfort coming into 2021 with COVID now back with us again. So it's nice to have that cash in the bank that we can give ourselves some breathing room to come up with some innovative strategies on how to get through yet another COVID year. Next line is non-current, no, back one, please. The non-current assets largely are fixed assets, and the reduction there is depreciation. We didn't really have any significant assets or additions or disposals in the year. And then partner and member prepayments, again, that increase of 600,000 baht is prepayments mainly by members. Ben, who is part of our management team, and I'd like to give specific thanks to, was really good in getting invoices out before the end of the year of 2020 and in collecting payments. So hats off to Ben on that. Our accumulated surplus, we're a nonprofit, so we don't have retained earnings. We have a surplus or a deficit. Dipped down from 64,000 at the end of 2019, and we're at a negative position of about 59.9 thousand baht. And of course, that's due to a loss in 2020 of 124,000 baht. Let's go to the next slide now. So our income statement in the 2020 column, at the very bottom, you'll see surplus or loss. And there's the 124,000 baht loss that I just referred to in reference to our closing surplus for 2020. So partnership revenue up at the top, significantly impacted by COVID, as Derek pointed out earlier. Our memberships, we did see a decline, but it was modest compared to the decline we saw in partnerships. On the event revenue side, of course, we had several events canceled in 2020 and other events that we were able to hold either digitally or in person. We saw lower attendance and lower revenues generated from those. Our other revenues are largely made up of research projects that we undertake from time to time. And we had a number of those in 2020, which really helped to increase our revenue. On the event side, of course, with lower event revenue, we had lower event costs, but we made a bit of a gain in terms of our percentage of event cost to event revenue. In 2020, it was 57.5% of event revenue versus 63.5% in 2019. So a little bit of a win in an otherwise kind of gloomy COVID year. On the administration side, in 2019, we still had some salary as Rose, our former executive director, was with us the first few months of the year. Of course, in 2020, it was Jen's ship to steer all the way through. So our staffing costs were much lower in 2020, but our office costs, of course, were also lower in 2020 because staff were working from home for a number of months and we didn't have as much activity supporting events and other things going on. Interest and depreciation, that decrease is entirely due to lower depreciation in 2020 as we start to work to the end of some asset values on the balance sheet. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. Our budget for 2021. Derek and I sat down with Jen and Ben a couple of times over the past 3 months to kind of get a budget that we felt we could achieve in 2021. So right to the bottom line, you see we had a surplus or a loss in 2020 of 124,000. Our budget is showing a loss of 800,000 in 2021. Now, we started 2020 with, a similar outlook for the year when we were sort of right in the throes of COVID. Now, we were fortunate in 2020 that we were able to get in, as Derek said, just under the wire, our Will event, which is a very big contributor. As well, we were able eventually to get in Canada Day, which helps. and of course the Maple Leaf Ball in the fall. So, you know, the four of us have decided to be particularly conservative in 2021. So we're not calling for any significant partnership revenue increase. We're calling for membership fees to hold at 2019 levels. We see event revenue will slide down, maybe 400,000 baht, as some traditional events may be canceled, and we expect further COVID impact on other events. Our other revenue will also decline as we undertake fewer research projects in 2021. Now that can change, but at the moment, what we see ahead of us and within kind of our vision of our horizon of vision is about 300,000 baht there. Our event costs, we held them at 57.5% of event revenue. Administration, a small increase over 2020. We're hopeful that we can get back to work earlier this year than we did last year. So there'll be some small increases there. And then again, interest and depreciation, the slight decline in 2021 is because of slightly lower depreciation. So let's go to the next slide. If there are questions, I can take them now. But if there are no questions, I'd like to ask for a proposal or a resolution to approve the 2020 financial statements.
Yeah, Dan, it's Kent Wiley. I just had one question.
Hi, Kent.
Are you guys going to do a cash flow budget?
Yes, we do that regularly. I didn't present it here, but we do we monitor cash, of course, every week. Ben and I meet and discuss cash every week. And then I present a cash outlook with Ben's input every month at the board meeting. So we're very aware of monitoring cash. And as I say, you know, we're starting with 900K in the bank,
Right.
but you see that loss of
Yeah.
800K. Now, of course, you'll recognize, being somewhat of a finance guy yourself, that the 800,000 baht loss includes about 350,000 of non-cash costs,
Right.
which means we expect our cash loss for the year to be around 450,000 baht.
Okay,
so in
good.
theory, if all goes according to plan, our budget, we will, you know, have quite a cushion of about 400,000 baht, notwithstanding the lower revenues that we're predicting in the budget.
Okay, great. That's just all I wanted to hear. Thanks.
Okay, thanks for the question, Kent.
Thanks.
Okay, I don't see any other questions coming. Can I ask again if there's someone who would propose to approve the 2020 financial statements? And Jen, I don't see everyone. So Derek or Jen, you may see a hand go up that I don't see.
Scott Coates?
Scott Coates, yeah. We need another one. Caroline.
Caroline.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Caroline.
Okay. So with that, we can consider that the 2020 financial statements have been approved by the shareholders. And let's move on to the next slide, which is the appointment of our auditor for 2021 financial year. So I would propose the same auditor as carried out the audit for 2020, Mr. Khan, Chusata Khan, Certified Public Accountant Registration Number 12116 from the audit firm of Khan Audit and Tax Company Limited, Bangkok. His proposed fee is 20,000 baht. This is the same fee as we were able to obtain for 2020. So I would propose that we appoint Mr. Khan's firm to audit the 2021 financial statements. Can I have an approver and a seconder?
I'll approve it. Kent.
Thank you, Kent.
Sanjeev and Dan Fraser.
And Daniel Fraser's, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we will consider that Khan Accounting Company has been appointed or will be appointed with the approval of shareholders as the auditor of the 2021 financial statements of CanCham. And that is the end of the treasurer's report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan. That brings us to agenda item number 6, the election of the CanCham Board of Directors for the coming year. The constitution of the Chamber allows for a variable number of directors, up to a maximum of 15 board members who may be elected. This year, we do have 15 board members who are nominated, so will not require a formal election. But if you could please proceed to the next slide. These are the CanCham board candidates for the coming year in alphabetical order. Next slide. The two new board candidates, candidates that will have offered to serve that did not participate in the 2019-2020 board are Robert Woodridge. So here's a brief bio of Robert. Please take a moment to read about Robert. And Kuno Pat also has offered to serve. Kuno Pat is the managing director at Aero Engineering. Please again read his bio here momentarily. Okay, thank you kindly. And with that, again, as was explained, we have 15 nominees for the board of 15. So the board members are approved. Thank you very kindly. Number 7, the year ahead. The year ahead surely promises to be a challenging one. Please, next slide. We have several events that are in this, let's say this fiscal year. Including some that have already happened. We had the Ways to Reduce Your Thai Personal Income Tax event on February 11th. We had a Kickstart party on March 11th and another webinar on March 17th, all reasonably well attended events, so thank you for that. The annual general meeting obviously is this meeting. Thank you for your time, effort, energy, and participation. The next event that we will have is the CanCham Reunion Networking event. We're not sure when that will take place. We are making aggressive plans to roll it out as quickly as possible once it's safe to do so. And I think it's fair to say that as much as possible over the next few months, that's exactly the stance that we're taking. It's getting as many of our ducks lined up as we can in advance so that when we recognize the opportunity to get back together and meet personally, we'll be able to do as quickly and as efficiently as possible. The Crystal Ball event, as I spoke earlier, I'm very fond of this event. It's typically the first event in the calendar, in the social calendar of the foreign business community, and it's really a look ahead to the year ahead. I have to say, certainly no one could have seen what was coming last year, and they didn't. And certainly this year is no different. So we'll see when we're able to hold that. But the chair of that committee, David Beckstead, is doing a great job of managing that. And when it's appropriate, we'll reschedule and announce that to the membership. Women in Leadership, another tremendous event. And I would encourage all of you right now, just as an aside, to make sure that you register your interest in attending that event. We've had to delay it twice already due to the circumstances, but it is currently scheduled again for June 23rd. Reach out again to me, reach out to the Chamber office to get more information about the Women in Leadership Conference. We're hoping to have as many as 450 people attend this year. And it truly is an inspirational event for participants of all stripes. In particular, if you have women or junior employees who are able to participate, who might not otherwise participate in our events, I would certainly encourage you to invite them to join you. Canada Day as well. Typically, we hold that right at the end of July, often a week or two before the Americans hold their 4th of July event. We're putting that on hold for the moment, but all the groundwork is being laid, so that when it's appropriate, we'll be able to hold that event. If at all possible, that event will be held sometime this year. Again, circumstances permitting. The Maple Leaf Ball, our Thanksgiving Ball, no concrete plans for that yet. It's still in a wait and see. That event typically starts getting planned immediately after Canada Day. So we'll take a wait and see on that, but always a tremendous event. And the CanCham Christmas party as well, same thing. We had our best attended event last year. We're hoping to continue that success and build on that success and have an even better event this year. Please do join. And with that, we bring it to any other business. So again, this year, unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of time for chit chat or maybe networking. Typically, at the annual general meeting, we like to have a presentation or speaker come and speak to us. We originally had lined up Thailand's chief virologist was going to speak at the AGM, but obviously circumstances did not allow him to join us. So we decided to keep this one quick and efficient. But having said that, if there's any business that you would like to bring up to the broader community that can't be addressed directly with myself or the office, now is your opportunity to, again, share your feelings, plaudits, cries of anguish, what have you. Anyone interested to say, have their voice heard, please raise your hand. Okay, Mr. Scott Coates.
Yeah, I'm not very active in the last year, but just wanted to thank you, Derek, long-term friend, and all members of the board and the team for keeping doing good work for Canada. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Scott. It's very much appreciated.
Hey.
Anyone else like to praise us? Okay. On that note, I will continue to serve on the board. After this meeting, we'll have our first, the first board meeting of the new board will be convened, at which point the executive will again be elected. And if I'm chosen to serve you, even if I'm not, regardless of what happens, my door is certainly open, and I'm here to serve you, here to help, here to lend an ear if I can be of any service to you or anyone else in the community that would like to say something. I see Jen's put up his hand again. Maybe you'd like to bring us to the close, Jen?
Yes, we would like to take a group photos online.
Great.
Yeah, please don't forget to turn on your camera. There you are.
Excellent. Great job, everyone.
And on that note, that concludes the 31st annual general meeting. Thank you very much, everyone, for your patience, forbearance, and support.